tremendous fighter. He has a lot of experience. This is his third time at a world title, so I know he's going to leave it all on the line, November 22nd, but he wants to go to war. We're okay with that. Let's go to war.
Kovalev, Benavidez, and now Benavidez. I mean, yeah, you like doing things the hard way, don't you, mate?
It's just the way the cookie crumbles. It's the way it all, the way it happened, and I feel like I genuinely feel like I'm going to win this fight.
Oh, Tim Desert Storm Bradley, you already know the rest. Up in the morning, getting my walk on. Yeah, hey, black coffee, no sugar. Let's go.
In the world of boxing, some predictions are just analysis, but others are chilling premonitions. Timothy Bradley isn't just making a prediction, he's sounding an alarm. The former world champion has zeroed in on the upcoming David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde clash, and what he sees is a stylistic demolition waiting to happen. He didn't just call a winner, he painted a grim picture of a fighter about to be systematically dismantled, trapped, and utterly broken.
That's the problem. That's how you shut down. It's called the shutdown system. Systematically shut down anything they trying to do. You taking everything away from them. Any position they get in, any bad spots they get in, you taking advantage of everything. Perfectly executed.
Bradley's words hinted at a brutal truth, suggesting that this fight is more than a contest. But what secret did he see in Benavidez's style that made him so certain of Yarde's demise?
And I said to Benavidez, have you ever seen Yarde before? He said, no, this is my first time seeing him right now. I was like, ooh, what's that like when fighters see each other? He's like, no, we size each other up a little bit. So Yarde walks in. So Benavidez is here, staring, waiting. Yarde walks in. Obviously, I greet Yarde, Yarde greets me, and then they have this little moment. It might have only been about 5 or 10 seconds where they kind of stare at each other and then they kind of embrace. But it was that 5 or 10 seconds where I was like, whoa, these guys are they're literally sizing each other up. Yarde is enormous for light heavyweight. Like Yarde's back is like that. It's like a bodybuilder's back. And you can kind of see them size each other up, but it was respectful. It wasn't no David Benavidez situation. It was very respectful, and the face-off was respectful. I'd love to tell you guys that the face-off was electric and a fucking table flip. No.
Timothy Bradley Jr. didn't mince words. He laid out his vision for the Benavidez-Yarde fight with the kind of brutal honesty that leaves no room for doubt. Yarde about to get his behind whooped, stomped on, and knocked out, he declared, making it clear this wasn't just a technical breakdown, but a forecast of pure dominance. To drive his point home, he offered a chilling analogy that perfectly captured the dynamic he foresaw. He described the fight as being like an insect getting trapped in a spider web. This wasn't about a lucky punch or a close decision. This was about a predator methodically ensnaring its prey. Bradley envisioned Yarde having a few moments of success, maybe winning a round or two, but all the while being drained, beaten on, and ultimately overwhelmed. The spider, Benavidez, would just be too long, too relentless, and completely the wrong style. According to Bradley, Benavidez wouldn't just win, he was going to put knots on his head.
Hey, Benavidez got a high boxing IQ. That man been in the ring with a lot of different types of styles, and he's dealt with them, right? So he should be able to figure this out. This ain't no superior boxer, man. This is somewhat of a boxer puncher that's still trying to figure it out, man.
But this terrifying prediction wasn't just based on a hunch, it was rooted in a deep understanding of Anthony Yarde's most critical and perhaps fatal flaws. So, what makes Anthony Yarde the perfect prey for a fighter like Benavidez?
But no, the thing with David Benavidez, is I rank him highly. If you look at what he done at super middleweight, amazing. When he jumped up to light heavyweight, he didn't take no easy step-up fights. He fought a former world champion. So I just feel like it don't matter who is put in there with me at this moment in time. I feel like it's my time to win a world title. I've been wrong before. Am I wrong again? Tune in and see.
According to Bradley, it comes down to a collection of weaknesses that play directly into the hands of the Mexican monster. While Bradley gives Yarde credit for his heart, acknowledging he gives 110% every time, heart isn't enough to overcome fundamental technical gaps.
Yarde put it on the line, man. When Yarde show up, he's either showing up to win or he's showing up, hey, he's showing up to win, but hey, sometimes it don't go his way. But that's all right. He give us 110% every time he step foot in the ring. okay?
The first major issue is Yarde's stamina and his response to pressure. He's known for fading as fights go on, a problem that becomes exponentially worse when facing a relentless opponent who gives him no room to breathe.
He about to get stepped on. Yeah, he getting stepped on. Here's why. You see, Yarde has an issue with pressure, all right? And when you have an issue with pressure, typically guys that have issues with pressure, they have issues with stamina, okay? I'll give you another example of a guy that has a hard time dealing with pressure. Caleb Plant, all right? He's another guy that has a hard time with dealing with pressure. You know, it's hard for them to relax. That's the thing. When I'm watching Yarde fight, even when way back when he was starting, right? Because, you know, if you don't know, Yarde don't have a huge amateur background or pedigree. So, you know, he's somewhat learning on the job, right? But he's gotten as far as he's gotten because of the heart, because, of course, the training, where he grew up at, rough area, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he put in the work, right? But he got some talent, man, but the problem with the talent is that, how can I put it? He don't know when to use the talent. He don't know what areas to use, what skill.
Bradley specifically compared him to Caleb Plant in this regard, a fighter who also ran out of gas against Benavidez.
Now, speaking of David Benavidez, I was looking at his fight against Caleb Plant, right? And Plant did good the first 6 rounds. Damn, he did good. Oh, he was boxing his ears off. Oh, yeah, he was running them in the traps, bam, 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 hitting them with combinations, making them tuck up in that high guard and taking a walk back on his stick, stabbing up and down on him. I mean, he was controlling the fight. But what Plant do, just like Yarde do, he ran out of gas. That's the problem. Yarde runs out of gas. Plant ran out of gas. He couldn't sustain. He couldn't keep it together. And then what happened? He gets what? No, he actually went the distance. He almost got stopped, but he went the distance. Plant showed a whole lot of heart in that fight against Benavidez. But
furthermore, Yarde is still learning on the job. Lacking an extensive amateur background, he often makes crucial mistakes in high-pressure situations. Bradley pointed out his poor jab defense and a dangerous tendency to move to his right, leaving him wide open for the exact punches Benavidez loves to throw, the left hook and the straight right hand.
Yarde has a hard time dealing with the jab. He does. And when you're getting hit with the jab, it's really hard to really get a rhythm. So a lot of times Yarde has to break his base, which he does, but he moves to his damn right too much. He never moves to his left, to the open side against a damn orthodox fighter. He's always moving to his right. So he gets hit with left hooks a lot. He gets hit with right hands a lot because he kind of fights with this bladed stance, man, you know? And he kind of go in this little Philly shell and bladed stance, and he flicks his jab out there, and he turns his head this way like that, and he's open for right hands. I don't know if you remember him fighting against Benavidez. He got smacked with right hands.
Yarde is a cute little boxer, as Bradley puts it, with flashy combinations, but against an elite pressure fighter, those defensive holes become gaping wounds waiting to be exploited. Bradley's critique goes beyond just technical flaws. It's about a fundamental mismatch in fighting philosophy. He scoffs at Yarde's chiseled physique, noting he has too many muscles, and bluntly stating, "This isn't a modeling contest. This is a fight." In a brilliant and memorable contrast, he describes Benavidez as having a bit of flab on him, looking like a swimmer. But this swimmer, he warns, is going to swim all up on Yarde. It's a powerful visual that dismisses the superficial aesthetics of muscle for the raw, functional toughness required in the deep waters of a championship bout, suggesting Yarde's impressive build won't help him when he's drowning in pressure. And the man waiting to exploit them has built a career on doing just that.
I feel like the David Benavidez fight, I feel like he was up early and then he came on.
Yep, I think like at the end of the 6th round, and he knows it too, but he hit me with a left hook to the body like right before the bell, like right on the liver. And he heard me breathing kind of hard. The bell rang. He's like, "Man, I heard you."
Then with the body shot,
And he started to pick it up from there. And then in the 8th round, I caught a headbutt. Started to make it kind of hard to see, so I started to punch a little more and make things a little harder. But still a close fight. He's obviously a great fighter, and that's what I'm fighting to begin with. I'd love to run it back.
David Benavidez's fighting style is the stuff of nightmares for anyone with questionable stamina or defensive holes. Bradley describes him as a fighter who relentlessly eats up real estate, constantly stalking his opponents and shrinking the ring until there's nowhere left to run. He doesn't just chase, he masterfully cuts off escape routes, using his long jab as a rangefinder and a weapon, peppering his opponents with pop shots before unleashing devastating left hooks.
Yeah, Yarde switched on. He switched on, but he not relaxed. He switched on like hell. His eyes is wide open. He switched on, right? But that's a lot of nervous energy. He was burning. He don't know how to relax. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't got no real stick like a hanging. He ain't got no stick like, get off me. Get off me. To keep his distance, right? And having the feet, right, to kind of draw that line in the sand, you know what I'm saying, and having control of his space. He don't know how to do that. So Benavidez, he eats up real estate. You know, he got them long ass strides and steps, and he stalks you. He constantly stalking you around the ring. You over there? Oh, yeah, he's stalking the hell out of you. So, and when he's stalking you, he's using the jab. He's pop shotting from the outside with right hands. He's leaping in with left hooks. He's putting a lot of pressure on you, man. And if you make any type of mistake, he gonna catch you. That's just him. That's what Benavidez does. He pushes a frantic pace. You know what I'm saying? He gonna make you pay for your openings. He got a long ass reach. He got height. So anytime you even try to come back at him, he'll lean back out of range like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's gonna be the difference. I mean, that's what's gonna make the fight easy for Benavidez, man.
This isn't wild aggression. It's calculated, suffocating pressure. Benavidez makes his opponents work every single second of every round, forcing them to burn precious energy just to survive.
You know, he gonna walk this man down. I say 8 rounds, maybe. 8 rounds. It's not gonna be the heart. It's just gonna be the accumulation. You know what I'm saying? Benavidez gonna pile up them shots on him, man. You know, he gonna get tired, he gonna get fatigued. And shit, the ref might stop it or the corner might stop it. You know Yarde gonna fight to the end. But he about to get stepped on, man.
We saw the blueprint for this perfectly in his fight against Caleb Plant. For the first 6 rounds, Plant used his boxing skills to control the distance and looked sharp, but Benavidez never took a step back. He kept walking him down, kept landing heavy shots, and by the second half of the fight, Plant had completely ran out of gas.
That's a war. It was a good fight. You know, I saw Plant win the early rounds, and Benavidez definitely won the later rounds.
You believe he deserves the fight versus Canelo next?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's waiting for that one.
It was a good fight, man. It was a good fight. I enjoyed it. Did you think it would go the distance? I knew that it would go the distance.
Caleb don't have nothing to hold his head down. For me in this fight, there wasn't no loser in this fight. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but winners. And both fighters would advance from this point on and move up.
Great fight. Caleb showed a lot of heart. David Benavidez is a beast. Showed a lot of heart. I mean, people can't question his heart. He didn't lay down. He came to fight, and I respect it.
I thought it was going to end the way it ended. I've seen some things I noticed, but I thought it was a good fight. Glenn made some mistakes, but, you know, responsible.
Mexican Boogeyman, you know, did his thing. And so at the end of the day, you know, respect to both of them.
It was the accumulation of punches and constant pressure that broke him down. This is the exact fate Bradley predicts for Yarde, a gradual, draining beatdown that ends with a corner or referee stoppage around the 8th round. And it's not just mindless aggression. Bradley makes it a point to highlight the intelligence behind the onslaught. Benavidez masterfully uses his long reach and height not just for offense, but to lean back out of range, making opponents fall short with their counters before he steps back in to punish them. Bradley's prediction is chillingly specific. He sees the fight ending around 8 rounds, not from a single knockout blow, but from a relentless accumulation of punches. The constant barrage will tire Yarde to the point of exhaustion, leading to an inevitable ref or corner stoppage, a clear sign of a fighter being systematically broken down rather than just beaten. Benavidez's style isn't just about power, it's about making his opponents drown in deep waters. But the battles he faces aren't always inside the ring. For all his terrifying presence inside the ropes, David Benavidez's career has been shadowed by troubling moments outside of them. These public missteps have raised serious questions about his discipline and focus, providing ammunition to his critics and detractors. The most recent incident was a bizarre, slurred appearance during a DAZN broadcast. Benavidez himself admitted he was drunk after having one too many, issuing a public apology for his behavior.
David, nip and tuck fight so far between Diego Pacheco and Sean McCallum. What are you seeing?
Diego doing what he got to do. He's using his job and keeping his distance. He's looking great right now.
What more do you want to see from him in the second half of the fight?
I want to see him use his distance more and his power. He's looking like using his power, so I'm really happy with what he's using right now.
What do you do against a guy that's got a long jab but is sticking into your face all night?
You gotta keep doing that all night and look for the right hand.
Thanks, David.
I think that's like high school shit. Don't say like, yo, I just did this because I'm drunk. The fuck are you, 16?
Timothy Bradley called the moment extremely disturbing, pointing out the recklessness of putting his career on the line like that in the public eye. What made it even worse was the timing. Benavidez was already in training camp for a major fight. As Bradley explained, drinking during camp is a cardinal sin in boxing, sabotaging dehydration, sparring, and overall conditioning. This wasn't an isolated event. It echoed past troubles that have plagued his career, including being stripped of a title after testing positive for a banned substance and losing another belt on the scales when he failed to make weight. These incidents paint a picture of a fighter who, despite his immense talent, has repeatedly stumbled, creating a perception of risk and unreliability that may have cost him the biggest fights of all. For years, the one fight David Benavidez and the boxing world have craved is a showdown with Saul Canelo Alvarez.
How now, David, especially and particularly in your position, the fact that, you know, let's call the pink elephant in the room. Canelo, he doesn't want to fight you.
Yeah, bro, it's a little hard, you know, because obviously this is a fight that everybody wants to see. It's the biggest fight in boxing, in my opinion, right now. But it sucks when a guy, as Canelo says, that he's the king, he can do whatever he wants. He's basically holding the belts hostage.
King,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, king or prima donna.
Yeah, basically.
Benavidez, the younger, bigger, undefeated monster, seemed like the natural heir to the throne at 168 pounds. Yet, he has been repeatedly rebuffed by Canelo, leading to one of the most frustrating standoffs in modern boxing. Canelo's reason for avoiding the fight became shockingly clear when he demanded an astronomical purse of $150 to $200 million, a figure so high it was seen as an outright refusal. Benavidez fired back, questioning why Canelo would need such a massive payday to fight someone he claimed had nothing to offer.
No, I'm not gonna say that he's ducking him because we see Canelo's, you know, resume. I can't say he's ducking anybody, but is he in a rush to get in the ring with him? I don't think so. You know, I think he sees, you know, easier fights out there, but you know, Canelo has a resume that, you know, very few in boxing have. So I can't say he's ducking nobody, but you know, I just think it just really got to make sense. He said he won 150 million or whatever the case may be, but Samson also said that, you know, that's a realistic thing. So we can't say he's ducking if that number is realistic.
This public drama infuriated many, including Tim Bradley, who launched a fiery critique of Canelo's reluctance. Bradley appealed directly to a deep cultural value, stating, "There's something called Mexican pride." He argued that when another Mexican fighter is calling your name and terrorizing your division, it's your duty to answer the call, regardless of the business side. "You gotta stand up, man," Bradley implored. "When are you going to stand up and actually show the people what they need to see?" But Canelo never did. And Benavidez, tired of waiting for a fight that might never come, was forced to look elsewhere for his legacy. With the Canelo fight locked away in a vault of financial demands, a new fantasy matchup emerged. A clash between David Benavidez and the pound-for-pound king, Terrence "Bud" Crawford. After Crawford moved up and dominated Canelo, fans salivated at the thought of him facing the bigger, stronger Benavidez. The hypothetical matchup was layered with intrigue, especially given the personal history. Crawford had already defeated David's older brother, Jose Benavidez Jr., adding a potential revenge angle to the mix. Even Tim Bradley, after watching Crawford dismantle his opponents, acknowledged that Bud's complexity and high boxing IQ could allow him to systematically shut down the bigger man.
If Benavidez was at 168 again, he ain't beating no Bud Crawford. He not. After watching that Plant fight, man, and saw what Plant was doing against him, nope, he ain't beating no damn Bud Crawford.
Yet, just as the debate reached its peak, Benavidez poured cold water on the idea himself. He showed immense respect, calling Crawford one of the fighters on the Mount Rushmore of the greatest of all time, and said, "Let Crawford do his thing, bro." It was a stunning public refusal of a fight fans were clamoring for. In a move that stunned the boxing world, Benavidez declared he had no interest in fighting Crawford and was done at 168. He was adamant, stating he wouldn't even drop back down to super middleweight for the Canelo fight he had chased for years.
Could you still make 168? Is that a possibility?
Honestly, bro, my plan is after this fight, I want to go down to 154. Nah, bro. I'm done with cruiserweight. You know, I want to take this opportunity though. Yes, I say cruiserweight. I want to take this opportunity to, congratulate Crawford. He put a hell of a performance. He's up there in the Mount Rushmore of the greatest fighters of all time. And, let Crawford do his thing, bro. At the end of the day, I have no interest in fighting Crawford. I have no interest in going down to 168. I mean, yeah, it's nice that it would be dope winning all titles, but I'm way past that at 168. I found the only reason I wouldn't even go down to 168 for Canelo, and I'm just being real with you, and let Crawford do his thing. Let him have his, let him. I want to give his flowers, man, because he's a great fighter, man. When there's no other fighter that's coming up from 147 to beat a type of fighter like Canelo at 168, and Crawford, he's one of the greatest of all time. So, I have no interest in going down to 168. I'm not saying that I'm scared of Crawford or whatever, but Crawford's the man at 168. That's his weight class. I'm done with 168.
When asked if a massive $120 million payday would change his mind, his answer was a firm no. After years of being the one avoided, Benavidez was now the one refusing a mega fight, leaving fans to wonder if he was protecting his undefeated record or simply moving on from a division that had caused him nothing but frustration. The story of David Benavidez is a tale of two fighters. Inside the ring, he is the Mexican monster, an undefeated, relentless force of nature who breaks the will of his opponents with suffocating pressure and brutal power. He is the fighter Timothy Bradley sees as a spider, methodically wrapping up his prey with no chance of escape. Yet outside the ring, he is a figure shadowed by controversy, haunted by past mistakes, and defined as much by the fights he can't get as the ones he's won. He is the man Canelo Alvarez priced out of a legacy-defining bout, and the man who flatly refused a super fight with Terrence Crawford. As he prepares to face Anthony Yarde, a fight many see as a foregone conclusion, the real question isn't whether he will win, but what comes next. Will his legacy be that of an unstoppable champion who cleaned out his division, or will it be a story of what could have been, a career of immense talent forever linked to questions of discipline and the ghosts of fights that never happened? Only time will tell which narrative will ultimately define the Mexican monster. So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.